Today we are in the kitchen with our friends at Koru Apples showing you the perfect fall entertaining cheese board. If you've never heard of a Koru apple before, your mind is about to be blown. These are a natural hybrid of Fuji and Braeburn apples, and the kind of best part about them is they don't brown as soon as you cut them. So while you'll typically have to toss apple slices with lemon juice, you can pre-slice Koru apples and just leave them out and they're not going to turn brown. If you happen to see Koru apples at the store, definitely give them a try. They have just such a crispy, juicy flavor. It's like a honey crisp, but so much better. This time around, I am kind of leaning into the sweeter themes to pair with these apples. I love the combination of like sharp, salty cheese with really sweet jams and apples and fruit. But we're gonna even amp it up a little bit more because we're gonna make a savory caramel sauce. So that's a caramel sauce that we're then going to infuse with sage for those earthy, kind of verdant notes. I know I've talked about the fact that they don't brown over time, but seeing is believing. So before we start our caramel sauce, I'm gonna cut some apples and just leave them out on the counter. To go with these beautiful apples on this crazy cheese board, we're gonna get going on this caramel sauce. To start, super easy, we're gonna do 1 cup of sugar to a 1/4 cup of water. Heat to a perfect caramel is when you add the water, you can stir it just a little bit to combine and make sure that everything is even, and then you're done. You cannot stir it or else you'll agitate the sugar and cause crystallization. All you can do is really shake the pan as you're going. Okay, we have a beautiful amber color on our sugar. So very quickly, we are going to add in 1 cup of heavy cream, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 2 tablespoons of butter. Okay, at this point now that it's all incorporated, I'm going to throw in a sage sprig and I'm going to let this cool with the sage in it. We're gonna remove from the heat and just throw it in a glass bowl to cool. The caramel has cooled. My favorite way to try it and make sure it's as delicious as I know it will be is you just take an apple slice and dip it in. Look at that beautiful consistency. The sweet honey notes in the apple pair beautifully with the caramel. The sage just brings it all together and elevates it. This is gonna be a great board. As per usual, we got a board. I'm gonna tell you my tips and tricks for styling it and making it gorgeous. First up, mise en place. I always make a tray lined with parchment with all of the cheese, sliced, crackers, accoutrements, all ready so that I can just pull off and assemble right on the board when my guests arrive. Yes, key part is you want your cheese fresh, so I only slice it about an hour before I serve it, depending on how cold it is, because you do want that cheese to temper. That being said, when I put it out on this cheese tray, I top it with damp paper towels to make sure it stays nice and fresh. Step 1 is getting all your cheese on the board, and then I fill in the holes. Okay, we're gonna have a nice combo to pair with these apples. I think cheddar. 3 types of cheddar. I have a nice aged Irish cheddar. I have a fresh cheddar here. We have another aged cheddar here. This one I love because it's nice and crumbly, so it's a perfect cheese for just kind of putting in a knife, letting your guests do it on their own. I always get it started just so people don't get afraid of breaking into cheese. A brie, same deal. A few wedges just to get them going. And then finally, some aged Gouda. Again, you want to be picking cheeses with kind of those nutty notes, super rich and flavorful. Just start to put in my bowls. I've got some honeycomb, our sage-infused caramel sauce. And we have 2 jams. We have cranberry and apricot. Start with some prosciutto rolled up, just to give these nice little ruffles. And then we're gonna start filling in our apple slices. Star of the show. I want to go kind of apple heavy. This is kind of like that fall harvest celebration. I have a few different kind of locations of apples popping through. Toasted walnuts. You want to always be thinking of texture, as well as crackers. Combination of rosemary crackers, seed and nut crackers. You really want to get a combo of textures and flavors so people can kind of build their own cheese combos. And just fill in the holes.